Hey, listener, want to take a deep dive with us? And this time, we're diving into, well, all things Elon Musk. We've got excerpts from his Wikipedia page, and let me tell you, even just skimming it, it's clear this is no ordinary life story.
You're not wrong there. I mean, you've got everything from childhood coding to, well, launching rockets. And yeah, maybe a few controversies sprinkled in along the way.
Oh, we'll definitely get to those, don't you worry. But for now, we're starting with his upbringing. And get this, he was born in South Africa. And we're not talking like a struggling family here. His family had some serious wealth tied to an emerald mine.
Yeah, although even just starting there, things get kind of murky. See, Elon and his father, Elon Musk, they've given, well, kind of different accounts of how that mine was acquired, who actually owned what. It's almost like, a mini mystery right off the bat.
Interesting. So a little bit of like ambiguity from the very beginning. And speaking of his dad, it sounds like their relationship was, how do we put this delicately? Complicated. Apparently, there was some serious tension from a young age. Like there's this one story about Elon being hospitalized after, get this, being bullied.
And it's Errol's reaction, or at least his alleged reaction, that really makes you think. Apparently, after Elon was discharged, instead of comfort, fatherly support, Errol, well, he reportedly berated him, called him worthless, actually. I mean, you got to wonder how those early family dynamics shape someone.
For sure. It's not your typical upbringing. But, I mean, this is also a kid who taught himself to code at like, what, 12 years old and sold his first computer game for $500.
It speaks to an entrepreneurial spirit, that's for sure, right from the get-go. But even with that, his path to success wasn't exactly a straight shot. I mean, he was smart, no doubt, but not necessarily like top of every class.
So even Elon Musk had to, actually put in the work.
Exactly. And get this, he actually planned his move to the U.S. by, well, first he secured a Canadian passport through his mom. Figured it would make immigration easier.
Talk about thinking ahead. That's strategic.
Right. So he spends a bit of time at the University of Pretoria, but like his sights were always on North America, ends up at the University of Pennsylvania, and get this, gets into Stanford, their material science program, which is crazy prestigious.
Stanford. Wow, okay, but he doesn't go right. I mean, that's going to be the peak of the dot-com boom, right?
Yeah, you're right. He decides not to enroll, and yeah, it's the middle of the dot-com boom. Opportunity is knocking. And Elon Musk, well, he's never been one to miss an opportunity, although it's kind of ironic, right? His first move was applying to Netscape. And get this, they didn't even respond.
Ouch. I bet someone somewhere deeply regrets hitting delete on that application now. But of course, he doesn't let that stop him. That's when he co-found Zip2, right?
Exactly. And he's not messing around with Zip2. We're talking sleeping on his office couch, showering at the YMCA levels of dedication here. It paid off, though.
Yeah, because then Compaq swoops in, buys Zip2 for, wait for it, over $300 million.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think for Elon, it wasn't just about the money, even though that's a lot of money. It was validation. Like he had these instincts, these big ideas, and he built something from nothing and disrupted an entire industry. It's a pattern we see again and again with him. Big risks, even bigger payoffs.
$300 million. Man, after a win like that, I'd be tempted to, I don't know, retire to a private island somewhere. But not Elon Musk. He's just getting started.
Right. It's like that Zip2 sale. It just kind of solidified this, well, this unshakable confidence. This brings us to X.com, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's what eventually became PayPal.
And this wasn't just about, like, making online payments easier, right? I mean, the Wikipedia page makes it seem like he had a much bigger vision in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. He wasn't just trying to make things convenient. He wanted to, like, completely revolutionize finance on a global scale. And that's, like, a recurring theme with Elon Musk. Revolution. He sees what everyone else sees, but he's thinking, how do we completely upend this?
He's not afraid of a challenge, that's for sure. But even with all that ambition, I got to imagine that eBay acquisition, that must have felt pretty good.
I mean, 2002, eBay buys PayPal. $1.5 billion, with a B, dollars. As the largest shareholder, Elon walks away with, get this, an estimated $176 million.
$176 million. Okay, maybe those all-nighters back at the Zip2 office weren't so bad after all. So most people at this point are thinking, all right, time to relax. But not Elon. He's got space on his mind.
And this is where things get really interesting, because it's not just some, like, passing interest, This is deep-seated. I mean, Elon was an early investor in the Mars Society, like literally putting his money where his mouth is, trying to make human life on Mars a reality.
And then there's that wild story about him trying to buy those decommissioned ICBMs from Russia. The intercontinental ballistic missiles. I mean, who even thinks of that?
It sounds so crazy, right? But that's Elon Musk. He saw those missiles and he's thinking, okay, cost-effective way to launch payloads into space. Problem was, the Russians, they kind of saw him as, well, an amateur. They rejected him.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. But as we know, a little rejection never hurt anyone, especially not Elon Musk.
Not at all. In fact, I think you could argue it just made him more determined. That's when he decides, okay, fine, I'll do it myself. Found SpaceX. Goal: develop reusable rockets.
Which, at the time, reusable rockets, that's kind of like the holy grail of space travel. Everyone wants it. No one's quite figured it out.
Exactly. Huge technical challenge, huge financial risk. But like we said, Elon Musk, he kind of lives for that. And it's not just space either. Remember that electric car he built back in college?
Oh, yeah. That wasn't just a side project. This is a guy with a vision. He saw a future with sustainable energy and electric vehicles as a key part of it.
He did, and he backs it up. Again, invests heavily in Tesla, becomes deeply involved in the company. 2008, he becomes CEO.
Okay, so let's recap. Revolutionizing online payments. Check. Launching rockets into space. Check. Pioneering the electric vehicle revolution. Check. It's honestly kind of hard to deny his impact, but that much influence, it tends to attract some scrutiny.
It does. And his Wikipedia page, well, it doesn't shy away from those controversies.
Yeah, and those controversies, they often seem to start with, a tweet. Or I guess these days we should say a post on X.
It's true. His online presence, it's almost as, as unpredictable as his business decisions. One minute it's a product announcement, the next it's like a meme.
Sometimes it goes a little beyond memes.
Yeah.
And that's where those controversies pop up.
Right. Like when he mocked preferred gender pronouns, that one got a lot of people talking. I mean, it brings up a really important question, right? When you have that big of a platform, millions of people hanging on your every word, can you really separate, personal views from the impact they have?
Yeah, especially when those views might be, at odds with a lot of your followers.
Yeah.
And then there was that time he compared Justin Trudeau to Hitler.
That was definitely a choice. And I think for a lot of people, it felt like, okay, that's a line that shouldn't be crossed. Comparing anyone to Hitler is, it's deeply offensive. And doing so casually, publicly, it just, it feels like it trivializes history.
And then, of course, there are his political leanings. Although leanings might be the wrong word because it seems like he's all over the place.
He's tough to pin down, politically speaking. Some people call him moderate, others right-wing. He's criticized both Democrats and Republicans, so good luck trying to put him in a box. But then there are the accusations of anti-Semitism. Those are serious, obviously. And his Wikipedia page even mentions that Disney pulled advertising from X after he seemed to agree with the post containing some pretty bad anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
That's a big deal. I mean, Disney, they don't mess around. Although I guess it's worth pointing out that he did apologize for that tweet. Called it one of the most foolish things he's ever done.
He did, but the fact that it happened at all, I think it just adds to this feeling that, maybe his judgment isn't always the best. So where does that leave us? It feels like Elon Musk, he's kind of a walking contradiction, brilliant for sure, a visionary in a lot of ways, but also someone who, let's just say he's not always aware of the impact of his words and actions.
He really does seem to embody, this kind of weird mix of like the best and worst impulses of our time. You've got this incredible technological progress, but also this potential for like unchecked power and amplified, maybe even toxic ideas.
Right. And that's what makes him such a fascinating figure. He's not just some, eccentric billionaire. He's a reflection of us, of the challenges we face, the opportunities we have. Whether you love him or hate him, I think one thing's for sure, understanding Elon Musk, it helps us understand ourselves a little bit better.
And on that note, listener, we're going to leave you to ponder that. Elon Musk, tech visionary, agent of chaos, or maybe, just maybe, a bit of both. Until next time.